Three, two, one.
Welcome to another edition of Let's Get Drunk with B-Rad. Happy Labor Day. This is my third video today, and it's I'm trying to get some of the beers out of the fridge so I can go shopping for some more material to share with you guys. The whole point of this is I love sharing my love of beer, and also love sharing the stories behind the breweries. Okay, so the more information I can dig up on the brewery and share with you. There was one called Spectre. I forget who it was made by, but they personally had an employee die on them. They call it Spectre because Spectre is like something for ghost, and they felt that his ghost was still there with him and everything. And I thought that was a really nice touch, and they put it in a sugar skull and everything. And I love telling those stories, and that's one of the ones that touched me the most. And so I have given a review for this beer before, and I was in the liquor store not too long ago, and one of the guys said, "Hey man, check out this beer. For you baseball fans, Kansas City." This is another Kansas brewery. It's really Kansas City, Missouri, but you know, most people don't know that Kansas City, most of it lies in Missouri, not Kansas. When I was in the Marine Corps, a lot of people I say, "I'm from Kansas," and they're Kansas City. I would say Wichita. You know, I am 3 hours away from there, but they go Kansas City every time, even though I'd say Wichita. Anyhow, the guy told me this was a really good beer, and they only brew it at the beginning of the baseball season. So I happened to get a can of it, probably because they still have some. They had some at the grocery store where I purchased that, and I do root for the Royals. I am a New York Met fan, believe it or not. When I was a kid in the Oakland A's, I remember the days of Dwight Gooden. Dwight Gooden was one of my favorite pitchers because I was a pitcher. And of course, Dale Strawberry, man, loved the way he cracked the ball out, but both of them had drug problems. And the reason I was an Oakland A fan was the fact that Ricky Henderson was such a phenomenal base stealer. And, you know, he was the guy that broke Lou Brock's base stealing record, and I believe it still holds today, if I'm not mistaken. So I just love Ricky Henderson. He bounced from team to team to team. He probably played for 5 or 6 different teams throughout his career, but it was the Oakland A's is why I fell in love with him. But I do love the Kansas City Royals, and I do root for the Kansas teams, even though I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But as long as they're not playing the Steelers, I'll root for the Chiefs. Same thing, I'll root for the Royals. The Wildcats, the KU Jayhawks, the Wichita Shockers. The Shocker. I root for the Kansas teams, man. And this is a Kansas beer. This beer came in existence, I believe, in about 1988 or 89 when Boulevard started brewery, and they started in a small downtown warehouse in Kansas City, and then it grew from there, and they had to move. I did Tech Nine's Boulou. It's kind of like a pineapple beer, and it's actually been one of my best beer reviews. I have like 49 views, and that's blazing for me, considering I get a whole 8 or 9, 10 maybe at the most, which, you know, hey man, I do this because I love it. I love sharing the stories. I love talking with you. You know, making new friends is what it's all about. And I love beer, and being a Marine, I drank enough of it, so I feel I should share my experience with you. Let's get on with this. Let's critique this. All right. I like it, man. It's the Royals colors, you know, the Boulevard, the KC Pills. You know, it's a lager, of course. You know, I don't know. You know, lager just goes with baseball, I believe. You know, you couldn't put an IPA or a Pilsner or a stout, I don't think. You know, but a lager is a fitting a fitting. It's a 4.8% alcohol by volume. I'm gonna give on the can, the marketing, the logo. I'm gonna give it a solid 4.0, man. I like it. I think they did good. Unlike I was I was torn by their marketing logo with the Tech Nine Boulou. I felt it was kind of an afterthought in some areas, but genius on like the backside of the can. I mean, I don't know. I just expected a lot more from the Boulevard Brewers and Tech Nine. So, but I felt it was a solid one of my favorite beers, honestly. I mean, because I love pineapple. I love pineapple, I love mango, and I think the combination with beer is absolutely fantastic. So let's see how she pours in my worst Irish accent. Believe it or not, I'm like 19% Irish. It says ancestry, heritage, and 23andMe. Official craft beer of the Kansas City Royals. Good for you, Boulevard. All right, man, I've got a fantastic head on that thing. I mean, it does have pretty much large to medium bubbles on it. It's yeah, they're dissipating, but they were there. I feel. I mean, I know the head is all about it's part of the flavor profile of the beer, but if you're going to pour me a beer, I kind of want it to the top of the glass. And this is I don't know. I think this is a 16-ounce glass that I got. It's one of my favorite ones because Bricktown Brewery. I went on Veterans Day, and I got a glass. One of these days, I'll get the proper glass so I can get a proper aroma out of the beer. Now, being a lager, I'm getting like a caramel, weedy type of smell out of this. Kind of a toffee smell. Let's what? Okay, I give the color on this. I'm gonna give the color because it's a lager, and I don't know. It's not as clear as I think a lager normally is. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5 on the color of this. I'm gonna give the smell. Smells pretty tasty actually. So I'm gonna give the smell a 3.8, and let's give it a sip. Classic. It's got a classic lager taste to it. Um, it's got that malt weedy taste to it. But I'm really getting that like toffee caramel taste in there. But like I said, it's just like a classic lager. I mean, like a Budweiser or something. It's clean, it's smooth, a little to no aftertaste in it and stuff. Let's give it another. Yeah, I mean, Boulevard Brewing, the Kansas City Lager, KC Pills. I like it. It's a hit. It's a hit in the ballpark. All right. I knew I probably wouldn't be disappointed with Boulevard Brewing. I haven't been disappointed so far. I love the products. And someone always says, "Well, you normally give a good review about all the beers." There's been a few beers I wasn't so partial to, and I did give a bad review. But I've got so many videos on here, so I can't remember what video it was or what beer. I mean, if it sat in front of me, I probably could tell you. But right now, at this point, I can't. You find yourself in Kansas City, you're at a Kansas City Royals game, watching a game, and this Marine with a patch comes up to you. His name's Casey, and he's like, "Hey, I can outdrink you for a beer and some nachos, and maybe a hot dog. Throw in a hot dog, and we have a deal." All right. So, this is the segment I like to call the Chuggability Test. Chuggability being something in this sick Marine Corps mind that I have, and I'm doing the work for you. Just in case, maybe it'll give you an unfair advantage against KC if you've been KC patched. Chuggability test. Oh, the taste. I didn't give the taste a rating. I give the taste a 3.8. I like it. Now let's give it the chuggability test. Whew. It's just like I said, it's nice, it's clean, smooth, little to no aftertaste. Another great freaking beer. I know I say this a lot, but it really is. I mean, Boulevard Brewery has been in business for a while, and I can honestly see why. And as far as the Kansas brewery or Missouri craft, it's been a while for a while, and it's something you can find. Excuse me. At most bars, like I'm talking about bars like Buffalo Wild Wings, Chili's, places like that, Old Chicago, that have a lot of craft beer selections. And this one I don't know if you can find, but you can definitely find anything made by Boulevard probably. And if they don't have it on tap, they're going to have it in cans most generally and stuff. So I've been rambling on way too long. This part of the segment, I like to pay tribute to the men and women that sacrificed all, of course. Number 3 on this Labor Day. And, oops, my hand is wet. This is to the men and women that sacrificed all for this great country. Thank you very much. And for the ones currently serving overseas, stay frosty. And of course, always chest to pull wherever you are. America. All right. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you, my 39 subscribers. Of course, Scott Losky, Brad Lance, Casey Patch, Chris Trent, Aeroplanes Brewery, Troy the Brewmaster, JRB the head sales rep, Brad the bartender, and all my family and friends that watch and support. Please hit the like button, please, please, please. And of course, I love sharing my love of beer and the stories behind the craft breweries that brew this beer. And Boulevard KC Pils is a solid beer, and I think Game Day is a perfect game day beer for you next time as the baseball season coming to a close. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough, and please subscribe. Super fine, motherfuckers.